Jacinda Ardern has decided to flee the nation she governed. She has been pushed into exile due to those evil progressive policies. Isn't it fascinating, though? Most world leaders, as far as I know, rarely, if ever, abandon their homeland. It's like the place you grew up, like you make friends there. You get to see the streets where you were a little girl playing around with your friends, and you're abandoning all of that. That's very interesting. Even in Europe, like Angela Merkel, right? Like she hasn't fled Germany. Boris Johnson, he hasn't fled the United Kingdom. So I assume like things must be pretty bad in New Zealand that you have Jacinda Ardern coveting new lands, trying to establish new frontiers for herself and her family. I do find this lady to be very interesting. So, for those of you who don't remember what she was renowned for, there was this terrorist attack in New Zealand made by an Australian immigrant. Right, he went into a bunch of mosques, shot a lot of people, drove over other Muslims with his car, and he live streamed that on Facebook. And so the response to this from Jacinda Ardern, instead of saying, look, when Australia is sending people to us, they're not sending our best, and maybe we should vet people better when we do the immigration policy. No, she didn't say that. She said we need to take away the New Zealanders' guns. Like, these citizens, they can defend themselves. Horrible. Atrocious. We shouldn't allow New Zealanders to have guns. Seriously, like, imagine you're a New Zealander, right? Like, you're law-abiding, you're minding your own business. Some twat from Australia comes along, fucks your country, the government takes your guns. Like, why? What exactly did you do to deserve it? Nothing. Well, maybe you did. Maybe you voted for Jacinda Ardern. Now, interestingly, after the guns were taken, austerity measures followed. And by the way, like, this is historically accurate, so, like, she didn't reinvent the wheel or anything like that. Like, she did exactly what governments do after taking away weapons from citizens. Austerity measures. And she also managed to govern during COVID. And so, like, the austerity measures were dialed up to 11. I remember, like, some guy was actually arrested for smuggling food. I don't know how, like, the tier 7 lockdowns worked in New Zealand, but, like, you weren't supposed to leave your house for, like, more than a couple of miles or something like that. And so, like, they found someone smuggling McDonald's. I remember that article. It was absolutely hilarious, right? But anyway, like, she had very strong austerity measures during COVID. She had very liberal immigration policies. And, of course, like, hate speech laws. Oh, I mean, she went even to the United Nations and said, like, why democracies require censorship in order to survive. Like, how can you have a democracy if you allow your citizens to talk to each other over the internet? What if you have a Socrates or some other asshole that starts asking questions about the government and shit? And so that's what Jacinda Ardern was. Now, interestingly, she must have pissed someone off. I don't know who she ticked off, but all of a sudden she resigned. And that's not a good sign when you're a politician, right? To just come out of the blue and pass your resignation, like, it usually means that you've done fucked up. Like, you pissed someone off. Maybe it was a good thing, like, maybe the World Economic Forum was demanding something too much from her. Maybe they were pushing for digital ID or some shit, and she said, you know what? On a matter of principle, no. Like, I have done so much for you guys. I have done so much, but, like, this one, no. Not on my watch. And so they said, okay, fine, we're bringing in the blackmail. Bring the blackmail, the New Zealand Epstein variant, or whatever the fuck they have to blackmail their politicians over there. And so it's like, look, you either resign or we leak this to the press. And so she resigned. But yes, this is why liberals managed to push for all of those policies, because a lot of people think that liberals are stupid. It's like, oh my goodness, they're so dumb, you know, like they're passing these legislations that are bad for the nation. Bad for the nation. Well, wait until it comes to their doorstep. You know, wait until multiculturalism comes to their backyard. But the reality is, like, it cannot come to their backyard because they simply move their yard. All right? Like, they have money. Unlike us poor folks, they have connections. And so when things get tough, well, I mean, they can just pack up and leave. And then they go somewhere else. And also, yeah, like, they're not the only ones. And what's fascinating about this, you know, if you watch my previous video with the guy that was a progressive activist in New York, and he decided to make a counter-protest to another guy that was anti-Islamic, right? He was an Islamophobe. He had an irrational fear over people that believe in Islam. And in order to set him straight, this progressive activist comes along and he says that everyone is welcome in New York. And just as he says that, a Muslim jumps over him and throws a nail bomb into the crowd. Now, luckily for him, the nail bomb doesn't explode, right? But still, the guy sees the nail bomb and then starts mocking the people that run away. And then when he finds out that, no, like, the nail bomb was actually legit, it just didn't explode, he still doubles down and he still says that, no, you know what? Everyone is still welcome in New York. It's just those evil far right. So, like, what we can get from the story is that when progressive like Jacinda Ardern managed to flee New Zealand to other places, they don't learn anything from this, right? Like, they will still continue their progressive policies somewhere else. And you're going to have, like, because, like, the interesting thing is, like, they flee towards conservative places. They flee towards places where usually they lack the level of multiculturalism, diversity, and inclusion that they like. And once they go to those places, they bring those policies. And this is why Texans are so ass mad when Californians are coming to their state. Yeah, there's not much you can do about it. Still, I understood on Twitter that this is why we need more women leaders, right? So they can ghost the country that they governed after they're not in power anymore. Still, I am curious though, like, what exactly happened when she resigned? Is her life in danger or some shit? Again, like, this is very weird. Like, even liberal world leaders, they rarely flee the country. Like, usually they go into a city that's safe and they live in a gated community and they have a security detail. And so to see one that actually goes away, like, makes me wonder, is she afraid for her safety or some shit? Like, I'm not even kidding. It's very unusual. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.